and a warm welcome to Nimba and Television. Nimba and Television is an institution that intends to promote the peace and development of Mama Liberia, Nimba County, Liberia. We are on this television service every day, from Monday to Friday, ensuring that the issue of national concern are aired, especially issues that has to do with the growth and development of our country, Mama Liberia. We discuss it right here on this television service. We promote peace, we promote unity, we promote development on Nimba District 9 television. My name is Mark Don. Today I'm here also along with veteran journalist Kennedy.
Thank you so much.
Well, today we're going to be doing a very special thing here. We're going to be having a special interview with Nimba County District number 9 representative, the Honorable Johnson in Gwaikolo. Today he's going to be our guest on this very special interview. Honorable, welcome to Dinner TV.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I know that today is weekend, and I say weekend.
Not bad, it's okay. In our own functions and responsibilities, every day is a working day. So it's a pleasure to have you with us here to talk about District number 9 and Nimba County as a whole.
So our viewers, we want to say welcome wherever you are in the United States of America, in Liberia, in the UK, and wherever you are on the World Wide Web. We want to say thanks for joining us on Nimba Dina Television this hour. Well, today, specifically, like I said, our attention has been drawn to issue coming from Nimba County, developed issue of concern coming from Nimba County, specifically the issue that has to do with health in Nimba County. I'm going to, how is Nimba? First of all, how's the district before we go follow up to Nimba?
The district is good. I was in the district about 7 weeks ago before I went to the United States. And since I came back, I've not gone back to the district yet, but I've been in touch with the citizens of the district. We are trying to organize our own, adjustment to the county sitting budget. Yeah, if you recall, the county council sitting budget, that's the one we're going through now. Once we complete that, then I'll be going to the district because I want to carry some news to them.
Is there something there now for the district?
Yes, we hope so, because about 2 weeks ago, the government released to the county $1.6 million, United States dollars, but 1.1 million of that amount has been transferred into the county's account. Yeah, another 500,000 is still is still in the government's account, but the government has authorized its bank to transfer that money into the county account. So, as such, we are now revising the budget that we on over a year ago. I think that budget was over $3 million, and now we have to revise it down to $1.6 million so as to carry on our project. So certainly there will be something there for all the 9 districts of the Nimba County.
So talking about District 9, if there's something there for the district, what are some of those issues of concern that you think the district should be focusing on?
Well, we had a district sitting as well, and we agreed on a number of projects. We know that the major challenge in District number 9 is road connectivity. So that was a priority that we agreed upon, at that district sitting. So what we will have to do is just revise the project, revise that decision based on the amount that will be available to the district. So if you are aware, you may be aware that we started a self-help project on the road rehabilitation, and we did some work from Gawi to Zikepa, the district headquarters. And so once we have the transfer to the district, for the district, then we'll continue that project to other parts of the district. Another major project that we agree upon that has not been done yet and is critical is the Town School and the wall bridge that is near Doorstown. Yeah, that bridge was agreed upon, but nothing has been done yet. The self-help initiative that is taken by the town people and the clan people, we are working along with them, until we can get that funding available.
Okay, Gwaikolo, I think you are not just ordinary representative from District 9 in Nimba. You serve as a co-chair of the Nimba Legislative Caucus. There are actually issues now in Nimba, specifically in Tapeta Belt. The issues of Tapeta, you are also part of the representative that you are representing the whole district that forms part of Central Tapeta district. Now the Jackson Fiado Hospital in Nimba that falls within the secretary of the Tapeta Belt is facing very serious challenge. There is a news for that hospital that coming up, and there have been attention there. So is that have been brought to your attention?
Yes, it has been brought to the attention of the entire caucus, particularly those of us who are closer, our districts are much closer to the JFD hospital, Jackson Fiado Hospital. It was very disappointing, very annoying, very upsetting for us to have heard that a team had gone from Monrovia to Tapeta to remove the JFD referral hospital. It was very annoying. We want to take this time to just thank and appreciate the citizens and the local administrators, the local government officials, and the county administration for acting swiftly to exercise their fiduciary responsibility for not allowing the equipment to be taken away until there's clarity and understanding as to how this equipment is being taken away, why it is being taken away, and how will that relationship, that situation be handled. And so the county superintendent was dispatched by the caucus, headed by Senator Johnson. He was very swift, meaning the senator. The superintendent went out there and had a meeting with the county official, the local officials, statutory district superintendent, with the hospital administrators and the medical chief medical officer, and so forth, and the town people, just to discuss what was obtaining. Because we know, and let's look at things from a perspective. Yeah, from a perspective. JFD was constructed in that region as a referral hospital to serve not only Nimba County, not even only Liberia, but neighboring countries as well. And we know that it has been a benefactor, to people from the southeast, to people from La Côte d'Ivoire, and even Guinea, and even from here in Monrovia, and so for people to go out there and remove critical pieces of equipment suggests that this hospital is of no value, which is not the case. So there were some major missteps by those who try to manage this exercise.
Government is saying that they want to use this equipment at the GFK for 2 months.
And that's fine. And I think the position of the caucus and all of us is not that we are insensitive to the national medical needs that we have in this country. No, it's a matter of just being systematic. We know that, we understand that there are times that equipment can be shared, especially so equipment such as this neurosurgical microscope. This is a very expensive piece of equipment, and we understand only one of it is in Liberia right now. It is so sensitive that it has binoculars attached to it. It's even attached to a screen such that when the surgery is going on, people can monitor that. It has those kinds of sensitivity. And so it costs anywhere from $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to $100,000. And so that's a very important piece of equipment. So if another entity needs to borrow that, there's no problem. but it is the procedure that is the issue at bar. Because if you want to remove such a sensitive, important equipment from one facility to another, there must be rules to govern that. Who is taking it? How long are you taking it for? What will happen if something happens to it? You know, how will it be managed? How long will you keep it for? None of those questions have been answered. It was only at this discussion to our understanding that, you know, the medical team, the administrator at the GFD hospital said that the Minister of Health had written them, you know, asking them to release the equipment to JFK to be returned as determined at a later date. What is
There
a
was
later
no
date?
specific date
No,
set up by
there was no specific date set up, you know, by or proposed, you know, by JFK or the Minister of Health. Yes.
This is not the first of its kind for equipment to be removed from the hospital. According to citizens, just a month and a half ago, the city scanner was also removed from the hospital to be brought later to up to present. We are under the water.
That's the fear. You
What
know,
happened your role?
well, it is only now that we are
Your site.
beginning, we are beginning to hear about this. You know, that's why we thank the citizens of Tapeta for taking that responsibility to stop the action from being carried out, and then they placed calls to all of us when that helicopter landed in Tapeta, and they observed the team going to JFD to remove the equipment. Calls started coming, you know, and so we got involved into it immediately. That's when we got to realize that just what you said, that other pieces of equipment had been removed much earlier without any indication as to when they will come by. So at the end of the day, then JFD, a referral hospital that has been serviceable to the people of this country and even the neighboring countries, will remain in that region as a ghost facility, you know, as an empty frame that will not be, you know, beneficial to anybody. You see, that's the concern that we have. So, and interestingly, the lower house's chairman on health is part of the Nimba legislative caucus. So the common courtesy of the administrators informing the chairman to say, look, this request has been made to us, or even the requester to say, look, we want this piece of equipment from JFD. You are the chairman on health, and this is from your county. None of that was done. You see, so we believe that these missteps have to be created. We understand that there is a program to be administered at JFK. In fact, it was to be done at both JFK and JFD. A team usually comes to this country and offers free medical services, which we wholly and welcome. We wholeheartedly welcome those kinds of initiatives. And so something that has been planned for a while, and we also know.
But some are suggesting that while such service can go to JFD, instead they are bringing it to JFK and removing equipment from JFD to JFK.
The question that has been raised, the concern that has been raised is road connectivity, access to JFD at this time, which is understandable. Rainy season, we know it gets to be a challenge to travel to the hospital. But proper planning and even feasibility studies that should have been done would have created a condition for proper decisions to have been taken. To say, well, look, we have done all the studies. We know that it will be a challenge to get to JFD. So let's look at what we can get from JFD to JFK to service more persons, and after that, return the equipment to, you know, where we borrow it from. And within a written guideline, you can't just do it, you know, without any proper governing instrument. But none of that has been done. And so the discussion was that the feedback we got from the county administration and the local people in Tapeta is that the administrators acknowledge the misstep, and so they will take the proper steps now so that this program cannot be jeopardized or undermined without having the proper equipment, because neurosurgical procedures are required. You know, when these people come here, there are some people who have to get that kind of medical treatment. If you don't have the proper equipment to serve them, then their visit would have been in vain.
So who should be held responsible for this misinformation? Now, a simple campaign sent out there that Libyans are violent people. Doctors were, disgraced, were beaten during the crisis yesterday. They did 2 days ago in Tapeta, and the information I found that Libyans are violent people. There was, some disturbances at the hospital. Now, who do you think would be held responsible for the disturbances rather than, the news that are going out to tarnish the reputation of the citizens?
Well, first of all, if violence occurred where people were beaten and assaulted and physically challenged, then that's wrong.
And the medical directors are threatening to leave the hospital.
Yes, we've heard
because
that.
according to them, they were attacked by citizens.
Yes, if they were attacked, then that's wrong. That's totally wrong. It's unacceptable. Stating your case of not remove the equipment does not require any physical assault or anything. Just discussion was what was needed at that time. So those who may have gotten involved in assaulting the medical personnel and even the general administrator of the place wrongfully did so, and it is not acceptable, not at all. What needed to have been done and what may have caused the anger and being angry should not have led to beating up anybody or so. It simply should have required stating reasons why this equipment should not be taken away, citing examples of equipment that have been taken away before and have not been brought back, and insisting that the proper procedures are put in place. The hospital administrators, if I was to lay blame, I will first lay it to the hospital administrators.
There was a breach of communication.
Yes. So if
there
they
should be
receive
awareness
yes,
to the citizens.
exactly. If they receive such a communication, they should have informed, their lawmakers, their county officials, the citizens, about this thing. Then, because once that structure, that facility is in Tapeta, all of us in Nimba have that responsibility to protect it, to care for it, to make sure that it's there, serviceable, to meet the needs for which it was placed there.
The government should say that this hospital belongs to Liberians on a broad-based level. While Nimba, or citizens of Nimba, particularly Tapeta, trying to personalize this institution.
No, it's not a matter of personalizing it. There's a government hospital that serves everybody. The reality is that it is located in an area. You see? So the citizens of Nimba, have that benefit. Service. You see? Anybody from Tapeta who gets sick gets to that hospital quicker than anybody else. Therefore, they have that responsibility to ensure that the hospital remains functional and protected and cared for, because it's within their community. They get that benefit before anybody else can get a benefit.
Gwaikolo, on the overall, can we say that the Nimba caucus is some type of thing that went on there? So, how soon we going to get information from there that the equipment, whether or not it's going to be taken?
The caucus is on top of it, and based on the report that we received, was that they were going to redo the communication. First, redo the communication, develop an MOU, that would define how this equipment will be shared between JFD and any other facility. In this particular case, the JFK facility. It is important because it is equipment that was provided to a specific hospital. So if another hospital wants to use it, for a similar purpose, then if you want to borrow something from me, just come and take my thing and go. You have to tell me, especially this sort of piece of equipment that is so sensitive and costly. You gotta tell me how you're gonna maintain it. You gotta tell me how long you're gonna keep it for. You gotta tell me if in case something goes wrong. You borrow my car, if the tire goes flat, you know, will you come to me to fix that tire, or will you fix the tire before you bring it back to me? Those are the kinds of things that we look at.
That has been the concern of some Liberians, apart from the Malians, that moving such equipment here and there, probably something could go wrong just in a matter of time.
That is true. That is very true. It's a very sensitive equipment. I read on it, you know, and they have several types of that kind of equipment. Some specifically for eyes, when you do eye surgery, you know, ophthalmic, you know, microscope. You got some that focuses on the ear, and this one is neurosurgical, you know, microscope that focuses on the brain, you know, and spinal cord, and then the spine, and all those things. So it is intended to quickly improve the sight, quickly magnify, you know, what they're looking at, so that because brain surgery is precision surgery. So moving those equipment from location to location requires special care. It's just that it's not a very big piece of equipment. Yeah, so it can be easily contained and put in its proper package and move around very quickly. Notwithstanding, care has to be taken to make sure that it is indeed kept in proper order and proper functionality, you know, as it's being moved from place to place.
Well, if you just joined us, you're watching Nimba Dinner Television. We are today in conversation with Nimba County District number 9 Representative, the Honorable Johnson and Gwaikolo. Today we are specifically focusing on the recent news that equipment at the Jackson Fiado Hospital were been taken away, attempted was allegedly been taken away. So today is our guest. We're focusing on issue of national concern. My name is Mark. I'm still here with veteran journalist Kennedy Doma. Shortly, we're going to take a quick break to be right back with other issues on Nimba Dinner TV. If you just join here, we want to say welcome all of our viewers who are joining us. We are today live from the home of Johnson Gwaikolo. Number Gwaikolo, let's leave Nimba a bit now to talk about education. One of the pillars when you were campaigning was on education. How is it now?
The education sector still has major challenges. The sector is underfunded. The infrastructure is below standard. Instructional staff are inadequate. Instructional materials are not regular. So those issues pose challenge to the sector. Although, let me say that generally, because the performance of the students sometimes indicate that there is some improvement being made, and indeed, there is some improvement being made. Last year, the outcome of the WAS was very bad. You know, the national exam for WAS was very bad. This year, we did a little bit better. You know, generally, we did a little bit
Even though
better.
12,000 students failed.
Yes, compared to last year, better. You know, so there's incremental, you know, graduation steps that have been taken in that direction. And let me say, in math, the overall performance of our students in math, we came third in the region after Nigeria and Ghana, but before Gambia and Sierra Leone. And this is, I think, our second or third year taking the WASC. So if we can come, we just join the system, if we can come third in math, you know, then that means we stand to do better. So as the facilities are being put in, and I know we've been engaging the education ministry, and they are putting in infrastructure, because they need to have laboratory facilities, they need to have libraries, they need to improve their skills, the skills of the instructional staff, and so forth. And so all of that, those steps are being taken. That will require some good funding, and you know, they are working on that.
Okay. Fortunately for you, you are chair on education at the level of the lower house. In recent times, there have been a lot of problems, especially students that have left the country, gone out to seek higher education. For example, in Iraq, there are a lot of students of government scholarship that are facing problems. They are not being receiving their allowances for the past 6, 7, 9 months according to them. They are created a kind of tension in Iraq, sort of out of the paid of rent and what have you. So what have been your own intervention as a chair of education, working in collaboration with the Ministry of Education to remedy that disease?
Yeah, that has been a very unfortunate situation to see our students who are quote-unquote on scholarships supported by the government and going through struggles as our students are going through struggles in Morocco. First, let me give you some background, some history. It first started with the students that were in China. The moment we took over at the beginning of our ascendancy, to the 54th legislature, the similar problem was there. They wrote us a letter raising concerns that their tuition has not been paid, they're going through difficulties, they're throwing them out of the place. And so we intervened as a committee, headed by myself, intervened with the Education Ministry. And that was taken care of. And I heard about this Moroccan situation when I was out of country. The moment I came back, I went to the Ministry of Education, met with the authorities there, raised the issue and said, look, the same thing that happened in China is happening in Morocco. And we are hearing ghost stories where the students are being really, disadvantaged, inconvenienced. And once you do that, the purpose for the purpose for which you went there, you're not going to achieve it. And so they told us that indeed they have engaged the finance ministry to make a remittance to them. And as of now, as of information that I got as late as yesterday, the finance was processing their payment. And I'm not there at the finance ministry, so I don't want to make this commitment before they say Gwaikolo say. But I know that they're working very hard, and one can safely say we may see some results as early as next week. That's what I heard from the Ministry of Education, from the authorities, and they gave us that assurance. So, but we'll stay with it. It's important for us to stay with it so that we can work together. What I know is that the Ministry of Education has been working well with every time we go out there, they open their doors to us. Every time we have an issue, they do their best to attend to it. The one that is still slow on is some instructors were removed from the payroll from their ties. We've engaged them. Some of the instructors not good. They are real human beings, that are in classes, but for some reason they were missed. And so we raised the issue with them, and so they have told us what to do. Go back to your district, let the district education officer, confirm that indeed you are active instructor, then we'll place you back on the payroll. And we're working with them on that.
Okay, you're still watching Nimba District 9 television. In case you just joining us, we want to say welcome. We're going to take a quick break. Our guest today is the Honorable Johnson N. Gwaikolo of District Number 9 in Nimba County. We broadcast. We want to say thanks to all of our citizens who are joining us this afternoon. Magda and Roger Kennedy Doma, veteran Liberian journalist Kennedy Doma, both of us. Take a quick break to be right back. Thank you.
We were first known as the anthem of West Africa, when all the children of your sister's country were coming to you for education. But these days, things have changed. But a pain in my heart. I am feeling pain in my heart. This has put me into stress. It really pains my heart to see people suffering every day just to get their
Welcome back to Nimba District 9 Television. We want to say thanks for joining us. We stay here with the Honorable Johnson Gwaikolo of District number 9, Nimba County. We're going to read a few of your comments coming to us this afternoon on Nimba D9 Television. This one says from Shapa, it says thanks as your comments. Okay, it says I'm watching from Boston, May Kou. Thanks for joining us. Yan Zike is also watching. This is what he said. It is just wrong to move and install sensitive equipment from place to place. The governor of Liberia must set annual budget allocation for critical health care services and avoid actions that create public anger. And okay, keep your comments coming. We're going to read them out this evening on Nimba D9 Television. Although we are still here, let's talk a bit about politics.
Sure.
In can we say Liberia? In Liberia. How do you see things of recent, the way things are going in our country?
And unfortunately from the opposition belt. So we have recent violations in Montserrat, and you are here seeing how things going. The result partly have been announced, and the opposition side they have won the senatorial elections, and it is 15 violations. The results still stored up. So how do you look at it on the overall level?
Well, first of all, the discussion is good that it's been held right after the July 26 celebration, at which the orator, the national orator, just outlined and in my view, a balanced way of how the political situation is in this country. The people in a no position arrangement, that category, are the voters who are motivated by several other things, most of which may be the wrong things. And so when the officials are voted into office and they begin to perform in a way, a manner that does not suit their expectation, then they become affected. So that's the no position. Then the opposition. The opposition previously was ruling position. Now they are in power, not in power, sorry, and they want to get back in power. So they form different alliances, create different conditions, become suspect of the ruling party, don't want to believe in anything they do, to even consult with one another becomes a serious bottleneck and challenge. And so they engage in things that is not good for the development of the country. Then you have the ruling position. And the ruling position believe that, and it's all over, you get into position, so there's our time. And this is what we must discourage, our time. So anytime you get into position, it is not our time in a sense of taking personal ownership of the service that you're going to provide to our people. It is the time for everybody. You are there to serve the entire nation, and so your governance procedure, your activities.
But there's a specific set of people that are in the that are at the hem of power. So probably it is our time. The time could just be referring to them.
No, there's our own visualization and action that are seen by the word. It is our time. Suggests that indeed they are looking at it personally. Yeah, this is my time. I can do anything I want to do because I am here now. No, it shouldn't be that way. It should be our time there should be governed by the general principles of governance that will benefit the entire country. And we want to narrow it down to Montserrat County. The Montserrat election is more or less a statement made by the voters that indeed things are not going well, from the perspective of the ruling party.
Why do you think so?
Just the way they voted. It was not, in my own calculation, it's not so much about Darius DeLong. It was about, look, these our people are not acting and going in the right direction, so we don't want more of them in the Senate. Yeah, that's that's the general
Does
interpretation,
that
representation.
send some signal to the union establishment
It
that
should.
something is not going on right?
Yeah, it should send a signal, to the governance procedure and those who are involved in there, including all of us as lawmakers, that indeed we need to rethink and redesign and reorganize ourselves in providing the proper governance, to this country. The economy is down. Now it's global. Even in the U.S. and in Asia and all of that, the economy is taking a downward trend. But steps have to be taken to mitigate that. That's why we are pleased that at least the IMF is here, and we are hearing that the World Bank is coming too to help guide the process. We have experts and people experienced here in this country. If they work along with our international partners, then we can get back on our feet. I'm a chronic optimist. I always think that the best is ahead, and I believe that this turnaround will come where we'll begin to pick up our economy again and do better. The Liberian dollar is being devalued rapidly. $5,000 Liberian dollars 2 months ago is now 2,500 Liberian dollars. Those who are paid in Liberian dollars, their pay structure has not been hiked up, so their purchasing power has reduced. Now, all of this is blamed on the government. So therefore, anybody who has been put to go and be a part of or coming from the government, the people will say no, and have said no in this particular case. Say no, that the government doing this thing. So we cannot, put another government person there, to flood the place. So that's what is going on in this particular arrangement.
Sometimes there are sorry to interrupt you. There are comments that are made, especially during campaign period. Sometimes our international community, they don't sound in that ear very pleasant.
True, that is true. We have to distinguish between campaign period and governance period. In campaign period, the focus is on trying to win votes. And quite frankly, in that process, no, you cannot actualize will be made. For example, let me give you a typical example. I was in the States when George Bush was running, and he said that there will be no new taxes, just as a way to win votes. He said, when I'm president, there will be no new taxes. The moment he became president, he introduced new taxes, you see, and he was questioned on that, and his response was, he had to take decisions to be responsive to the economic situation of the country. So that's the kind of thing that is going on in every political arrangement. We make this, but after you have been elected now, when the actual governance starts, then you really look at things and say, well, those statements that are made yesterday, I have to do the best I can to make them become actuality. But if those statements will be counterproductive, then you abandon them and let the people know that, hey, yesterday I told you, we're going to do this. But given the reality of things, if we go that route, it's not going to work. So we have to take another route that we believe will work. That's just the reality of it. You must be able to
but sometimes the way at times people will say it as though what they say, yes, because of XYZ, they won't make it clear to the voters or the citizens that even though during the campaign period we say XYZ, but this is the way we should go. But everything will be left as though there were no promise made.
You must be able to articulate reasons why you cannot keep your promise. You see, and those reasons must be genuine that people can see and identify with it. Yeah, it shouldn't just be talk. It should be actual things. For example, when George Bush said no new taxes, when time came he needed to raise taxes, he went back to the same population, the populace, voting people, and said, well, look, yesterday, no new taxes, but today we have to, otherwise the economy will crumble. You see, the economy will crumble.
Contribute that to, for example, during the campaign period of 2017, the notion of the ruling establishment that hope for change. And right after election, you see things moving, head scatter, the economy is not booming, things are not known, the change that we expected Nigerian people to put for is not taking place.
Right. And that was a campaign slogan, hope for change. Change will come and people will be hopeful, they will see a metamorphosis where things that were done yesterday will be changed to be done better today, toward the benefit of our people. But if that is not happening, then because you can't keep doing one thing and get the same result, or one thing over and over and expect a different result. You're doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. No. If you know that you're doing something here and the result is not changing, then you have to change, to get a better result. So that's why it's good that some adjustment is being made. We like to see more administrative adjustments. We like to see people repositioned, because every government, you come into power, there's a honeymoon period. You put in place your friends, your supporters, and so forth. At some point in time, then you make adjustment to be responsive to the needs of the people, to the performance of the government. So, but we are beginning to see some of that. It's slow, but we're beginning to see that. We'd like to see more adjustments made in terms of executive responsibilities and so forth, so that the real change can come. We like to see policy adjustments. Again, let's just say we are pleased that IMF, is here to help us restructure, our fiscal regime, our fiscal situation, and the World Bank is coming to help us to structure our monetary regime, so that at the end of the day, we can begin to see improvement in our own economy. But changes have to be made for that change to come.
Okay. Finally, let's look at the national legislature, where you work. There have been a lot of crowds among yourself from time to time for the vice what have been the actual things on ground, coordination between you and the leadership of the house?
We are on the leadership committee. First, by my committee position as chair on education, you automatically on the leadership committee. Then I'm on a majority block. The majority block was established to help the leadership bring about stability and good governance in the legislature. That's what it was established to do. We know that party politics exists everywhere, and our own legislature is no exception. Where party politics is there, partisans of the ruling party ensure that the legislature will not be antagonistic towards, the governance of this country. And sometimes that impacts on, the ways we do things in the legislature that brings about noise and argument and so forth. And so that's why we group ourselves and say, well, look, we can be here, and not help the system, the institution we are in. Some of us are institution builders, so we are there, not necessarily that we are aligning with the ruling party that we are not a part of, but basically because we want to see our government.
We want to show check and balance.
Yes, check and balance. That it goes forward and things like. So you see that there's some level of sanity coming to us. We're not there yet, you see, but there's some level of understanding. People who were not recognized in the past to make statements are being recognized to make statements or to bring the argument on the floor.
So it's more like people are trying to reconcile with one another.
Right. And that's what the majority block is about, to ensure that the leadership of the legislature brings about stability through reconciliation and engagement, positive engagement with one another. The House works through committees, and those committees have to be empowered, by just allowing them to do their work, as well as allowing them to raise issues on the floor, as it becomes necessary. We are 73. Altogether in the legislature, we are 103. but we are 73 from 73 districts. We all have political orientation, different political orientation. My district people like to hear me, you know, and that's just our political system here. So if I'm being suppressed in the house and I can't articulate what I want to say while in the house, then there's a likelihood that when I get out of the house, I will begin to say it, you see, which is not the right thing to do. You know, periodically you have organized press conference and talk about, but you know, issues that should be raised on the floor and discussed on the floor.
You should participate.
Yeah,
to
participate
show that
in that.
you are doing your oversight. For
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And then sometimes the opportunity cannot be given.
Yes.
Because of their condition from the side of the presiding,
Right.
meaning the speaker. So
Yeah.
that can also be, you know, because of some of your police, you know, preventing that angle outside,
Yes.
you know, of
Yes. Yes. The speaker's position is very powerful in our own legislation, in our rules.
Why?
Because the power to recognize and of us to talk lies with him. You know, we are supposed to talk, each lawmaker, if you want to speak on a subject, you speak on the subject twice. But there's a provision in the rules that says the speaker has the option to even recognize you beyond, you know, 2 times if you have spoken 2 times. You see? So the speaker has the option to recognize who he wants to recognize. Then amendments that are made must be accepted by the person who motion. That's the other sticky thing in there. So if you make a motion that is contrary to my own thought process and I want to make an amendment to that motion, you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, then my amendment goes, you know, in vain. And so those are some of the things.
This 54 seems to be marginalized one way or the pre or the sector opportunity to draw a kind of a program for legislative and or since you guys, you know, came on board everything and targets.
Yes.
What has been the cost?
Yes. The reason that we have not gotten legislative earmark project is attributed to no money. No money. And our people don't understand
We see
that.
the executives carrying a lot of projects.
Yes. And we raised that issue. We raised that issue where we have confronted the speaker, the Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, and even asked the speaker, and they have done that, to invite the Minister of Finance and Development Planning to lay this price before them and say, look, you know, the legislative project helps even the presidency. It helps the development agenda of this country because you have 73 projects going on in 73 districts. You know, it covers the entire country. So to tell us that we don't have money to do legislative project tells us that you're not prepared to support the individual districts. We raised that issue, you know, with the speaker, who has raised it with, you know, the presidency. We are back, you know, from the holiday breaks, and we are picking up the issue again. You see, because those of us who are endowed with natural resources, even the county development fund, the social development fund is trickling down. And we have those who have the social development fund. It's like the company, the concessionaire gives you the money and say, look, can they hold the money for Gwaikolo? Whenever Gwaikolo puts his budget together and ready to use his money, then give it back to him. So that's how it is. But in this particular case, give it to government having to struggle, giving it to us. You see, so and we keep raising the issue so that we are pleased that at least they have given some, you know, 1.6 million. We hope that they will give the rest of it so that we in Nimba County can continue to work and help the development agenda.
Okay, you still watching District 9 Television, District number 9, Nimba County Television. Still have with us the Honorable Johnson Gwaikolo of District 9. He's our special studio guest this afternoon. We're going to turn to Studio B, where we're going to read more of the comments this afternoon with Edmond.
Okay, well, thanks again for joining us. Thanks to Mike and thanks to Mr. candidate Doma as well. So here we will be unable today to equally read your, to tell you all those who have joined us, but we're going to read their comments. And we hope that our Gwaikolo will comment on some of these here. This is a commendation from G. Sylvester Noonan Sr. He said, great Honorable Johnson and Gwaikolo, our mature lawmaker. And we have Eugene Clay. He said, I'm watching from South Korea. Thanks for joining us. He said, please be loud. We have already fixed that. Then here we have Sunday Ball God Favor Jalan. And we have, but we're going to quickly take the serious concern of other people who have raised key questions, and let us take them very quickly. We have Amos Gwe. He said, when will the CT scan and the MRI machines taking earlier be returned? And we have J. Ellis Colwood. He said, it's referendum. Is there a referendum on the ruling party? And we have Lenon Gonazu who says, very shame on the part of the government. And we have Mr. Dennis Koti. He said, I'm watching this program from the United States of America. Please let the honorable representative comment on the point raised by our colleague, Nya Zike. Mr. Zike specifically pointed out that it's wrong on the part of government to continue creating practices that bring anger among citizens. Let the government provide budget for these equipment, given the importance of these equipment and its maintenance. And we have Amos Myers. We have Ambassador D. Myers Davis watching us from Toronto, Canada. We have Mercy Lanka Kambe. She's joining us from somewhere. We have Tala Suomi joining us from somewhere. Andrew Koa, Pawon Gontawan Yala II, and Asia Asekaya. He is from the telecom LT somewhere that he's LTA, Liberia Telecom Authority. He has just joined us. And the last comment we're going to read is from Mike Gonzo Phillips. He said, I hope you talk later as it relates to the equipment from the JFD hospital. So I think everybody is concerned about the machine over there. So thanks to all. I'm going to go to Studio A where Mike will continue this broadcast.
Thank you very much, Edmond, for those comments that have been coming to Nimba District 9 Television. We want to say thanks to you all for your comment. I think you listened to some of the comments coming to us this afternoon.
Yes, the comments that are of major concern to do with the equipment from Capital Hospital, JFD Referral Hospital. There's no question that it's not right for this to happen. There's no question about it. And having reached this point now, we set up a committee to do a full-scale investigation to find out how many pieces of equipment have been taken from, the JFD hospital. Where are those pieces of equipment, and when are they going to bring them back? I think this will address the question that was raised by one of the watchers, the viewers of this program. It's important now that it has been brought to our attention. It's not just an event here where, today we just want to talk about the neurosurgical microscope. No, we'll talk about other pieces of equipment that were allegedly taken away from the hospital because they were meant to serve the hospital. There are Liberians on that side or in that part of the country. And so we'll do a full-scale investigation to be able to share that with the public as the results come out.
Soon are you people going to be going for your annual, should we say, agriculture break or recess, annual recess, because I think they said this time there's nothing there like giving for agriculture projects. So you people are going to be going for the second annual recess. What can you point out, for example, at some of those areas of focus during this period?
Yeah. The purpose of the recess is to go back to your constituency and then brief them on what you've been doing in the legislature and also hear from them in terms of what their priorities are and if those priorities are being attended to. Our major intervention in District Number 9 to be reported on is the road rehabilitation. The road rehabilitation, the road project, was done, at least it was started on a self-help basis. We also will talk about a clinic in Gwaikolo Administrative District. An NGO had come, there was an issue with it where they stopped, the clinic project would intervene with the elders and citizens of the town and the NGO itself, and they have agreed to resume that clinic arrangement. We also on the same Gwaikolo side, just some entrepreneurial venture. There are a lot of small rubber farmers out there, so we try to organize them into cooperatives where they can even carry their rubber produce and things like that to LAC that is closer to them. That is working well, and LAC itself had provided some assistance to rehabilitate the road, between Gwaikolo Administrative District and compound number 3 where LAC is situated. So those are some of the things that we'll be putting on. In the Gwaikolo side, we've been engaging the logging companies that are out there to remain focused on their community responsibilities, and we are working along with them. That will be reporting on all those things.
I want to say thank you very much, Gwaikolo, for being our guest today on Nimba TV. Also, veteran journalist, Kennedy Doma. Well, that's all the time we have to be with you on today's special interview with the Honorable Johnson Gwaikolo of District Number 9. We've been talking on several issues of national concern, issues that has to do with the government development of our country, Mama Liberia. We want to say thank you for your support. Continue, keep watching Nimba television, keep following, keep sharing, and let's continue to nurture the peace and development of our country, Mama Liberia. On behalf of the entire team here, Edmond Bawi, our head here, also B. Timba, who is our man, our technical man, Ashton Cooper, one of our presenters. On behalf of all of them, we want to say thank you. My name is Mark Don. Have a wonderful time.